Hello, everyone. It's another installment of Sound Money. I'm Bryson. So, last week, Bitcoin was a doozy. We had a major price drop from the range of 97 to our all time highs of 108K down all the way to $79,000. And a lot of people are panicking. And I understand why people are panicking. They don't understand Bitcoin and don't understand that just because the price in dollars is dropping doesn't mean the value of your Bitcoin is dropping. Bitcoin is a strictly limited supply. So the value is always going up because the money supply is not being increased. And so last week we had a major drop. Why did we have a major drop? Well, a few reasons. One of the big reasons is we just needed a correction. We had been ranging in that 97 to our all-time highs of 108,000, and a correction needed to happen. Also, there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market when it comes to Trump's tariffs. One week he's implementing the tariffs, the next week he's not implementing the tariffs. So no one knows what's really going to happen with the market in the next 6, 12, 18 months. So Bitcoin's in a very interesting space right now. Are we at the end of this bull market? Are we entering the bear market? No one knows because you won't know if you're in a bear market till after the bear market's over. All you can do is keep dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. But a lot of people are losing their conviction in Bitcoin. A lot of people. Looking at CoinDesk's article, Bitcoin ETFs finally snap 8-day $3.2 billion outflow streak with 94.3 million inflows. So all these people that have been putting their money into the Bitcoin ETFs are dropping out like flies as the price is dropping. And I understand them, but the people that are investing in Bitcoin ETFs probably don't have strong conviction in Bitcoin anyways. And to stay in Bitcoin for the long term, at least the 4 year cycle, you need conviction. You need strong conviction. And that conviction is only going to come from doing the research, reading the books, listening to the podcast, going down the rabbit hole. And it's interesting. Bitcoin has so many parallels to the Matrix. In the Matrix, Morpheus has a very strong conviction that Neo is the one, and everyone's constantly telling him, "Oh, I don't know if Neo's the one," but Morpheus has conviction. Even when Neo doesn't make the jump, and Cypher says, no one makes the jump on the first time, that doesn't sway Morpheus because he understands who the one is. Just like you need to understand what Bitcoin is. Just because the price is dropping in dollars does not mean that the value of your Bitcoin is going down. The value is always going up against everything. And that's because no one's just printing Bitcoin or digitally making more Bitcoin. You can't make more Bitcoin. Unlike US dollars and other currencies, which you can just print and print and print into oblivion. And so Bitcoin's strictly limited supply is why I have a strong conviction in Bitcoin. And conviction is a interesting thing. I don't think anyone can give you conviction. You have to go and seek for that conviction yourself. It's also hard to have conviction when it's been implemented into our brain that the price goes down, that means the value of your assets going down. And that's the case, and that's the true for pretty much any asset besides gold or Bitcoin. But you have to understand that your value of your Bitcoin is always going up. Do you have the conviction to stay in for a 4 year cycle? I do. I now have my conviction. In 2020, I didn't have my conviction. In 2021, I did not have my conviction. I was buying Bitcoin, holding it for 6 months or so, selling the Bitcoin I had to pay for things instead of holding on to my Bitcoin. I would have my dollars in my high yield savings account. You know, everyone tells you need a high yield savings account or a Roth or a 401k. But when I needed to access some money, I would sell my Bitcoin, even though that small amount in Bitcoin is even way more valuable than any money you have in your Roth or your 401k or your high yield savings account. And so conviction is the name of the game. $3.2 billion in outflows in a week's worth of time is a significant amount of money to be taken out of these ETFs. And I wonder if this outflow is going to continue, because it looks like Bitcoin's price in dollars is going to continue to drop. I'm looking at a lot of, TA from some respected people in the community, and we could see 70K lows. We could dip below that and go back to our previous cycle lows or highs of 50, 60, 70K. I look at it as you're getting just more Bitcoin for a cheaper price. So I look at it as a win. It's hard to tell people that when they see their accounts in the red and the accounts in the negative and the price going down, and it's going down 3, 4, 5% per the day. But you have to understand, the value of your Bitcoin is constantly going up. Do you have the conviction to stay in Bitcoin? In The Matrix, Morpheus says a interesting thing to Neo once they pull him out. He says, there's a rule that we have in that past a certain age, we don't like to pull people out of the Matrix because the mind has trouble letting go. And my mind had trouble letting go of this fiat system where you think the price of everything is going up because the nominal value on that computer screen is going up and up and up, while your purchasing power is being stolen away from government money printing. And so this is going to be a good exercise in conviction. We might be in this 70, 85 range, 75 to 85K range for 6 months. I look at it as an opportunity to just load up on Bitcoin at a lower price. And that's probably a reason also why I've started making content, because I feel like when you are constantly talking about Bitcoin every single day, it's easier to not be swayed, versus in 2020 or 2021, I was just buying every month, every 3 weeks, kind of consistently, but I wasn't thinking about Bitcoin every single day. And so when I needed to access some money, the first thing I did was, let me sell this volatile asset that's unproven. It's been ingrained into our heads from society that you should keep that high yield savings account, and alternative assets like Bitcoin they're really just alternative. It's volatile. It's not going to work. But once you truly understand Bitcoin, you understand that the volatility is a feature of the asset. These major drops are good for the network and the community. And the major drops are a great opportunity to just buy more Bitcoin. I also understand it's really hard to have conviction when everyone is in fear mode. But when everyone is in fear mode, that's when you should be in greed mode. Going against the grain, going against the status quo, buying more and more and more while the price is down. So you're setting your nice foundation up for the next bull run or that next explosive cycle. You don't want to get scared and liquidate your assets when they're dropping, and then when Bitcoin goes back up, now you're buying at new all-time highs. You've missed out on price fluctuations. Ultimately, in the long term, that doesn't matter. Whether you buy at 70K, 80K, 90K, 100K, just buy Bitcoin. We're probably going to go to $1 million Bitcoin. It's inevitable at this point. Bitcoin is not going anywhere, and I have the conviction to stay in. I know I have the conviction at this point, and nothing's going to sway me. Nothing at all is going to sway me. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, keep buying Bitcoin, buying the dips. This past week in the dip, I bought I don't know, roughly $3, $4, $5,000 of Bitcoin. And I'm going to keep buying more in the dips. And I'm going to still buy at the all-time highs because we're at the very beginning of this Bitcoin journey. You got to remember, Bitcoin's market cap, well, before last week, was around 2.5, 3 trillion. It's dropped to the lower twos at this point. But that's a $2 trillion market cap out of a $900 trillion global market cap for all assets, with gold being $19 trillion in market cap. So we have a long way to go. You don't want to be the fool who now Bitcoin's at 1 million and you want to get in now. Even though when Bitcoin gets to 1 million, you'll still be early. That's the crazy thing about it. But start buying now. As much as you can buy, $50, $100. You don't have to buy thousands every time it dips. I'm fortunate that I've, saved some money. I also live with my parents now, so I don't have to pay rent, and I have more money to go into Bitcoin and to put all of the assets and money I own into Bitcoin. But $100 of Bitcoin, $300 of Bitcoin, $50 of Bitcoin will change your life. So ultimately, the name of the game for Bitcoin is conviction. Do you have that conviction to stay in for a 4-year cycle for the long run? I believe I truly at this point have that conviction, and I want to see this play out over the next 2 decades. And so I hope you guys will join all of us on the Bitcoin journey. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be a ride of ups, downs, great moments, low moments, but ultimately you're taking another step in fighting rampant government money printing and all of the problems that comes with it. So you watching another installment of Sound Money. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the conviction it takes to stay in Bitcoin. I'm staying in Bitcoin. I hope you stay in Bitcoin. This is Sound Money. Bye, everyone.